It's so great to be here virtually with all of you. Amazing turnout. I'm Johanna Miller, Joey. I lead the Energy and Climate Program at the Vermont Natural Resources Council. It is my pleasure to introduce the two lead co-hosts of this event in just one moment. But that is Representative Sarah Copeland-Hanzis and Senator Chris Pearson, the co-chairs of the Legislative Climate Solutions Caucus, which has become such an important leadership caucus in the Vermont State Legislature. It's my pleasure to introduce this dynamic duo and to be here with you all, Representative Sarah Copeland-Hanzis and Senator Chris Pearson.
Thank you so much, Joey. I very much appreciate the introduction. And before we get started, I just want to thank you for the many hours of work that you have put in this year, you and all of the other members of the Climate Council, as well as the many Vermonters who have participated as members of the subcommittees that have helped to feed the Climate Council plan. If you all haven't had a chance to look at the plan in its entirety, we'll make sure that we put a link to where you can find that in the chat, and welcome Vermonters to really dig in and engage. All of these snowy winter evenings, it'll be some good reading material for us all to digest. So thank you for being here tonight. The first thing that I thought would be helpful in this evening is to just acknowledge that it was with the help of Vermonters like you that we are at this point where we have a first initial Vermont Climate Action Plan. Chris and I took over as co-chairs of the Legislative Climate Solutions Caucus back in 2019. And we knew at that point that we needed to get more organized and that organization needed to include going out proactively to Vermonters and engaging with people about how to meet our climate goals. And we went out at that time with the proposal that Vermont should adopt a Global Warming Solutions Act. And the Global Warming Solutions Act takes our aspirational greenhouse gas reduction targets and puts them into statute as requirements, and really puts us on a course where the legislature and the administration need to work together, engaging with Vermonters to meet our climate goals. And we are so thankful to all of you for your engagement in the process of passing the Global Warming Solutions Act, because little did we know when we were engaging in 2019 and the very first few weeks of 2020 that our efforts to take climate action seriously were going to meet a very big roadblock in COVID. So throughout the COVID session, we continued our work, not only on COVID response to help Vermonters and Vermont businesses to get through the initial months of the pandemic, but we also continued our work on moving forward with the Global Warming Solutions Act. And it was really from all of the support and the action of Vermonters, including our Vermont Youth Lobby, who really came out in force to demand action on climate, that we were able to push the Global Warming Solutions Act across the line. And in fact, when Governor Scott vetoed the Global Warming Solutions Act, the legislature was able to override that veto and put this into law. And so we instituted the Climate Council. That group convened and did a lot of hard work throughout the COVID months of late 2020 and throughout 2021. And fast forward to where we are today with that initial plan here in front of us. And we are poised to enter the next legislative session with a pretty firm set of tasks in front of us.
Well, thanks, Sarah, and good evening, everybody. I'm Senator Chris Pearson from Chittenden County, and though I can't see you all, I am watching the numbers tick up. So I feel like we're at the front of an auditorium, and people just keep coming in. That is very exciting. Over 200 people, if you don't see that number, which I think signals just how important an issue and our future depends on us working together, getting this right. I think of the Global Warming Solutions Act. Sarah mentioned it. It put emission reduction targets into law. Those largely they echo the Paris Accords targets in terms of our reduction. And Vermont has, as many of you know, has actually been outpaced by New England. We lead per capita on emissions compared to our New England neighbors, and have trailed in compared to their reduction. So it's high time we get in gear. I think of the Global Warming Solutions Act as us knowing enough to know that the legislature itself, and even with the governor, are not in a position really to do all of the work on our own. There is no way that we can prioritize this need of climate action when we also face, let's say, a mental health crisis and a housing crisis and pension challenges and many other things. And so the Global Warming Solutions Act created the Climate Council, 23 experts from a broad range of expertise all across the state, with a relatively straightforward charge, not simple, but how do we meet these emission targets, or reduction targets? And that's what we're starting today. So our event here is the hope is Sarah and I will not take you through the 200-page plan. Don't worry, but try to digest what we see coming, and working with legislative leaders and many legislators on this call, and the Speaker of the House and the Pro Tem of the Senate, what we see as this upcoming session. Of course, we only work for 4.5 months. Starting in January, what we see as being our initial response to the plan. So we'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about those priorities, then get some broad questions answered here before we put you into smaller groups so people can have a dialogue with local legislators and neighbors. So should we kick it off, Sarah?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. Take it away.
So thank you so much for coming out tonight, and we'll see you again soon.